So I read The Year of Magical Thinking by Joan Didion. I think this is fantastic. The prose is beautiful. She's a really talented author. You don't need me to tell you that Joan Didion is one of the greats. I don't think this was the correct introduction to her work. This book, it definitely has the feeling of it being like a legacy book for like people who are already familiar with her and her work, etc., and like her husband's work, because the book is very much about grief but is also a celebration of life and the living that she herself has done. And so me, who's coming into this that's not familiar with Joan Didion, I probably should have read something else first, like maybe Play It As It Lays, I don't know. But yeah, this is a fabulous book. The book takes place circa 2003, 2004-ish, and it's over what is probably the most difficult months of Joan Didion's life. She loses her husband John, who is also a writer, to cardiac arrest, and then at the same time, although it happened earlier, their daughter Quintana has been in the ICU with a pneumonia infection that got quite serious. So the whole book is sort of like a reflection on disease, dying, death, grief, dealing with your feelings around all of that, because it is very challenging, those topics, and it's something that we do like to avoid. I will say that while this book will open doors in your mind, like it's very thought-provoking, as a med student who has read a lot of medical books that do typically feature topics like disease, mortality, dying, there was nothing new or groundbreaking in this for me, but I don't think it's fair for me to judge it on those parameters, because most people do not have that kind of background with these topics. If you are someone who has recently been affected by grief, you've lost someone really close to you, especially if it was like an untimely death because her husband was like relatively young, like it was a very sudden, very tragic loss, this will be a really useful book. And even if it isn't, not every book has to have like a utilitarian use to it. Her writing is beautiful. She has a beautiful way with words, like really just stunning. There's a lot of quotable moments in this, a lot of things that you're like, oh, I'm gonna think about that. Like, it's an inspiring story. I don't think I have much else to say, to be honest with you. I'll keep this review short and sweet, much like the book, much like life. Yeah, The Year of Magical Thinking. Check it out, it's a modern classic.